933. I'm Scotty. Brett, Mega, good morning. You ready to play, my man?
I'm ready.
It's Thursday, which means we got to do the Throwback Throwdown.
We gonna take you back in the.
Are you really ready is the question. How ready are you? Are you ready? You're just ready. Yeah, ready. How many readies?
I'm ready.
All right, cool. Got it. He's ready to go. Throwback Throwdown's pretty simple. Brett and I go song for song to a theme. It gets pretty intense sometimes. Gets a little wild, a little crazy, a little competitive is a good word to use, I guess, for that. And we always have a celebrity guest judge. And today, I think we have a repeat judge. Whitney from Mesquite. Good morning, Whitney.
Morning. How are you guys?
What's up, Whitney?
You've judged the Throwback Throwdown before, haven't you?
I have.
I remember your
I
energy.
did Texas Fair Edition.
Oh, so it was almost a year ago, huh?
Who won? Do you remember?
They say it was Bret.
Okay,
Let's keep it that way, Whitney.
So you better,
You were really good at this. I remember that.
make better decisions this time. All right, Whitney, here, you know how it works then for everyone else in the car. Brett and I will go song to song for song to a theme, and Whitney's going to pick the best song for that theme. Now, this is going to sound weird, but we are doing songs. In case you missed it, there was a video that came out in Irving. There was a parking garage, right, that collapsed on itself.
It was crazy. No one was injured.
Right, which is why we're doing it, because nobody got hurt.
But it was a crazy video.
Now, if you haven't seen the video, it's still up at Hot 933 Hits on Instagram. But so, in honor of that parking garage, in mourning of that parking garage,
the groundbreaking.
we will do groundbreaking songs. Okay? Are you ready, Whitney? Now, this could be groundbreaking in a couple different ways. It could be the way that the artist broke through, inspired others. Could be the impact that the song made. Could have been records that the songs held. It could just the most groundbreaking song, okay?
Gotcha.
All right, yesterday, I believe I won, right? The Shark Bite
week?
songs, yeah.
Yeah, last week.
Oh, yeah, last week.
Sorry.
Okay, so I'm going to go first. Now, when you talk about groundbreaking songs, I think I'm going to start off with someone that is groundbreaking in herself because she was the first woman ever inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, going with Aretha Franklin.
Damn.
Coming off the bat.
Some respect.
Respect that decision, Whitney. First woman ever into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's pretty cool. It's a cool accomplishment.
It's tough to beat. When you talk about rock and roll, there's only one person that probably has a chance to beat them in those rock and roll categories, and that's Elvis. He's the king of rock and roll.
But he wasn't the first woman in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
He created rock and roll, man. Rock and roll.
He changed rock and roll.
Yeah. He became what rock and roll really is and what pop music really is. He became like one of our first pop stars and changed the game. He's the king, man.
Or there's
Elvis
the woman that led the way for so many women after her, Aretha Franklin. Where are you going, Whitney? What do you think?
I'm going to have to go with Elvis.
You got it.
Oh, wow.
Elvis.
Okay.
I really want to go with Aretha for feminism reasons.
Sure.
I mean, it's Elvis.
But it's Elvis.
But which Elvis? Like skinny, cute Elvis or big, fat Elvis? Which are we talking?
I mean, both of them.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
My mom would be proud. My mom loves Elvis Presley. My mom struggles with memory and remembering things. And literally, if you could bring up an Elvis song, she'll say like Elvis.
That's awesome.
That's my guy. She always remembers Elvis. That's her guy.
So that's the one that Brett gets for it. It was for his mom. All right, Whitney,
She'll be happy.
I respect the one that you threw him a bone. It's fine. We're gonna come back and do rounds 2 and 3. Are you cool with that, Whitney?
I'm cool with it.
All right, we'll do that next, right after Ariana Grande. New Ariana Grande is called God is a Woman.
We gonna take you back in the.
Time to go back. Throwback Throwdown. Brett and I go song for song to a theme, and we always have our celebrity guest judge, and it's Whitney from Mesquite. Good morning, Whitney.
Morning.
All right.
Morning.
We're going to go into rounds 2 and 3. Now, today's theme, in case you missed it, if you haven't seen the video of that parking garage that collapsed in Irving, it's the craziest video. Nobody got hurt.
It was just a crazy video.
Except the ground. The ground got hurt. So we're doing groundbreaking songs here. And Brett, you won the first round, so you're going to kick off round 2 here. Whitney, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Round 2 and 3.
Scotty, I think you're right about this that
Everything?
that there's a lot of different ways to interpret this, and I really do think when groundbreaking, you have to really pay the respect to the people that came before you. And I think what music is now is such a crossover genre between pop and rock and rap, and the first people to really do that and kind of take that big risk was the Beastie Boys, and I think that's a huge risk in this round, but I do have to pay the respect to the Beastie Boys and what we were able to get with them.
I thought about the Beastie Boys when I was going through these things.
People forget about them, and they deserve the respect.
But I thought there was some more groundbreaking things that I'm going to use.
Pop music is as what we do for a living probably wouldn't be where it is today if it wasn't for people like the Beastie Boys. They're the one that mixed genres in a way that we hadn't seen before. So I do have to pay respect for the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, there's other people that did it, like the Run DMC's pairing up with certain people and doing
not
like
the
some
way
of those matches
Beastie
and stuff.
Boys did it.
I'm just saying there's some. It's arguable.
You can argue anything in music.
That's true. You can. The Beastie Boys, Brett's choice. So one thing I'm gonna go with a guy that you probably assumed I was gonna play him at some point, but I have
Michael.
to. No. Oh, I thought you were gonna say Justin.
Justin.
I will go with Michael Jackson. I'm going with this is why I'm going with this song, because this album, not only did it become the best-selling album of all time, but it actually changed the culture in the fact that like white rock artists, they dominated like the 1980s, late 70s, 1980s as far as rock and album sales. And when this album came out, it went ahead and changed the game. And then also on this album was Billie Jean. And when Michael Jackson did the moonwalk at the MTV Movie Awards, it changed performances forever. So I'm definitely going to go with Michael Jackson changing the game.
Just playing my game, Scotty. You're just playing my game.
So before
I thought you were going to go Michael here.
That's
and
okay.
I didn't think the Beastie Boys would win. I'll be honest.
So you're just throwing this round already?
No,
Is that what you just admitted? He's throwing the round?
I didn't throw the round. I just really wanted to pay respect to what the Beastie Boys did for pop music, and I did think he would go against Michael Jackson, and I did think Michael Jackson would be tough to beat. And I do think the Beastie Boys constantly get overlooked.
I think you have a couple here that would be tough to beat too. Oh, so Whitney, you get to pick round 2 first.
100% Michael Jackson.
Going Michael. All right, let's go round 3. Brett thinks I fell into his trap, or did he fall into mine?
Yeah, we'll find out.
We're going to find out. All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
So it's my turn to go first this time. So I'm going to go with a song that I think, when you go back in time, if we're in the future, you go back in time, I think you're going to look at it and see that as something that did change the topic of conversation and change the culture as recently as last year, because no songs were talking about suicide.
Okay.
And Logic, Alessia Cara, they came out with this song, and I think it's such an important conversation to have, and I do think, whether it wins or not, it is groundbreaking.
That's fair.
So I'm going to go with Logic, because whether it wins or not, I do think it's important to point out that there are current artists making songs that change the conversations we have.
That's a good point.
So I'm going to go with Logic, and it's 1-800-273-8255, which is the suicide prevention hotline.
I just think I think that's actually a really great groundbreaking song. I do think there's songs that address that stuff, but no one did it on the way that, like on the pop level, the way that Logic and Alessia Cara did, especially in terms of new music. But when you look back and you play a segment like this, you talk about groundbreaking things that change music, you'd be doing the segment injustice to not pay the respect to the Beatles. When they came onto the Ed Sullivan Show, when they came over to America, it changed music. And the Beatles...
Yeah, neither of these points you can't argue with any of these points. So it's going to be all up to Whitney. I'm stepping back from this one. Brett and I are both moving back from our microphones. Whitney, you get to choose when it comes down to round 3.
I'm throwing in my own. I'm going to say neither one, and I'm going to go with Despacito instead.
You're going to go
with my own. I'm going to say that because, can I? I don't know.
Sure. What's your reasoning behind Despacito?
Yeah,
That's how you would play it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a little overplayed, but
sure.
Whoever brought, Spanish music into that mainstream pop culture of America like that?
You know what? It's not a bad point. I think there are people like the J-Los and when we're talking like straight pop music, Santanas that have done a little bit of that.
But I think she brings up a very valid
good
point about
yeah.
Spanish-speaking songs. This song is 60-70% Spanish.
Well, without Bieber on, it's 100% Spanish.
Yeah, and and it was the number one song for so many months.
So I've never been in this situation where neither of us win.
We're going to call it a tie with.
Three-way tie?
We're going to call it a tie with Justin Bieber with the win.
Sure.
I think that's fair.
Whitney just.
Whitney's.
I don't know what to do.
Whitney is
Whitney's
groundbreaking.
groundbreaking right there. Hey. All right, Whitney. Actually, just changed our bit in the middle. We just roll with it. All right.
Good job, Whitney.
You hold on 1 second because you are groundbreaking. We'll give you tickets to see two groundbreaking artists in themselves, Jay-Z and Beyonce. Sound good?
Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
All right, hold on.
But if you would have picked someone, you would have picked the Beatles, right?
that threw me off. So I'm just gonna tell people on Instagram I won because I didn't lose.
No.
I'm gonna tell people I didn't lose. Is that's fair, right?
Whitney, I kind of won though, right?
All right, let's get you going with the top 3 things going on celebrity news and DFW. Hollywood Hot 3's coming up. What do we got there?
All right, so you can now actually try Kylie Jenner's lipstick and a bunch of her cosmetics for absolutely free. And it's got Scotty wearing lipstick all morning in the studio. I'll tell you why before 9 o'clock on the new Hot 93.3.
I look damn good too.